Hi guys, welcome back. Today's going to be a little different video, as you see from the title. We're going to talk about concealer and just basically dry under eye and just funky under eye problems. The reason why I want to bring this up, this was the main reason why I came on YouTube, because I have the worst under eyes. I don't necessarily have a lot of discoloration, but they're very dry. And they are just unruly. And if you have been watching me for any length of time, you will know that I don't use a lot of concealer. One, I don't really need a whole lot of concealer. I have a little bit of darkness, not much. But mainly I just use my foundation there and it kind of evens it out for me. But today I'm going to show you a few little tips and tricks that even with my dry skin, have worked. One of the main things has been a lifesaver, which is this First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Cream Intense Hydration Skin Protectant with Fab Antioxidant Booster. And that is this here. This is a very, very, very inexpensive product. Now, I'm not sponsored. I bought this product. I did not get anything that you are about to see for free. This is a very thick, and I mean, you do have to like really rub that in, see? And what I will do is I will just go, I'll go ham, and I will kind of just get it right on around in my dry areas and right here. And just get that going. Now, if you watch, I tend to be a lot heavier. I have a mirror over here if you wonder what I keep looking at. But in my T-zone is where I'm very, very dry. So I will just go ham. Now, I don't really do the tops of my eyelids. I have very, very sensitive area right here in my eye. It's very sensitive, and right here. So I have to be so careful where I put certain things. I do have a shirt on. I see everybody say that. I'm like, I know you have a shirt on. Well, you wouldn't sit naked. Well, I guess, well, you never know nowadays. All right. Now, the other thing. Oh, I didn't bring the bottle in here. Darn it. Okay. I put it in a little container. This is actually a Tarte little trial size eye cream jar. And what I get is 100%, people say jojoba. I always call it jojoba oil. That's what I've called it forever. Jojoba oil. I get 100% jojoba oil, cold pressed organic. And what I do with this is, like I said, I put it in a little container like this, and it's very runny. I don't want to, you can kind of see. But I just take my ring finger and just barely pick it up. You don't want it like dripping. See, I got a little bit there. And I will take that like that. One more little drop. You don't want to like a drop, but, and kind of take it and I'll sit it right here and right here. You know, I picked up a little extra there. You don't want it like running down your face. I do like to put it like around here too. Anywhere you feel like your makeup gets cakey because of dryness. Now, I will tell you, for my girls with oily skin, you're going to laugh, but you treat oily skin with oil. A lot of times your skin is overproducing oils because it may be dry. Now, when I was a teenager, I never had a lot of acne, but I did get some, and my face was greasy, as I called it. Anyway, we're going to let that soak. I just kind of like pat that in. Now, if you can see, I have a problem with this eye pulling inward. See, I don't know if you can see where I get these little, I get these lines that do this, and it looks, to me, it looks, there it goes, and it sticks. So I kind of, they tell you don't pull, but what I do is I don't pull, I just kind of smooth it, and it'll lay flat. Now with the oil, you can kind of manipulate it where you're not like yanking on your eyes. You don't want to yank on your eyes. But you see how I've got a nice layer of that sitting there? just in the places I get dry. Anyway, so when I was a teenager, they told me that I had a situation where I had oily skin, but the top layer of my skin was dry because I wasn't exfoliating enough. Now, 99.9% of people, I can guarantee, especially at younger ages, don't exfoliate very well. Honestly, up until I'd say probably about 10 years ago, nobody ever really talked about it, you know? People didn't talk about those kind of things. I just wet a little beauty blender right here. This is just a damp beauty blender. And what I do with this is I just kind of, I let everything kind of soak up what's going to saturate in. And then I take this. You see how I'm not pulling the product off. I'm just tapping off the extra with this. Anyway, I'm telling two stories at once here. Crazy, huh? Anyway. Okay. But the, it was actually a lady at the Clinique counter, because that's where my mom took me to go get makeup and face cleaner and whatnot. And she basically taught me how to exfoliate my skin, and that made a super, super huge difference. But anyway, okay, let's get to this. Now, what I like to use is, I'm going to show you two different eye products that I like to use. One is a light one, and one is a little more aggressive. One is drugstore, and one is a little higher end. The first one is the Age Rewind from Maybelline. I'm gonna go ahead, and I get the one, I think it's called Brightening is the color. What is it called? Yeah, it just says Brightening Illuminator, and it's kind of a like a pinkish tone. And I put this underneath my eye like that. It's hard because I'm sitting so close to you guys, but so far away from my mirror that's not funny. Now I pat. I don't rub it. Some people I see they'll go in and just rub it back and forth. I don't do that. I kind of pat it in like that. Pat it in. And I'll let it sit for a second. I let it go ahead and kind of dry in, because if you let it kind of sit there for a minute, it's going to work with those oils you just put in. I'm just tapping off the edge. It's going to work with those oils you put in and kind of work its way in there. Now the second one, everybody's been talking about this, and it's funny because I had this before everybody was talking about it. I thought it sounded very interesting, mainly because I use this here. And it is also made from Fab Beauty. It is the Hello Fab Bendy Avocado Concealer. And that is this here. And I am in the color probably number 1. Yeah, fair. All right. Now, this is a little more aggressive of a concealer than the Maybelline. But as you see, it's not like a Shape Tape. And it's not like those. This has a lot of, see, luminosity to it. As I call, if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know, I call it life. That's when you have a little bit of a glow to your foundation or any product. Now, I like to just kind of, I go pretty tight under the eye right there. And that is about all I use. It's right there. That is it. Now, and I just kind of start working that. Let that sit for a minute because I need to work on this over here. Now, this is the new Can't Stop, Won't Stop NYX sponge. It's like a, if you like the Flower Beauty sponge, you like this. Or if you like squishies, you'll love that. It takes a minute to pop back out. Anyway. Now, I don't go like real tight up. I mainly cut the edge out with this one because this one's so light. But you see where you can see that little crease right there? I just kind of tap, tap, tap on that. Now, what I'll do is kind of pull up my under eye that way. Now, honestly, the less you mess with your concealer, the better it's going to look, to be honest with you. But now, see, my skin is pulling that moisture out. Concealer is not going to conceal the bags. You're gonna have bags. I'm sorry. They're gonna be there. But the little bit of darkness, so right here, Just going to tap in a couple little taps right here. Now with this one, it does take a little more. This is a thinner formula, but I absolutely love it because it is brightening. There we go. And I kind of tap that in. Now you can do this before or after your foundation. If I am doing it, I tend to do it after my foundation, but I don't. Usually foundation is plenty for me. Now I'm going to go back over here. Now that's set for just a minute. Same thing. A little tiny bit more. I go very, very light with this because you only need a small amount of concealer. These girls that put this stuff all the way down their nose and to their toes, it's really, really unnecessary. Honestly, you're just wasting a lot of product. I mean, you don't need that much. I mean, look, that is insane right there. That is an insane amount for somebody. Now, I'm 48 years old, and I don't even need that much concealer. But, so you want to work it in there. They're wanting like that perfect look. You know, the perfect under eye. The perfect, you know. Keep chasing it, honey. You're never going to get it. But there you go. You kind of see that. And, you know, this side, I love this. I love this concealer. Just because, I mean, you see how pretty that looks? That looks so freaking pretty. Now, this one, I will go back and forth probably 10 times with this. I love this stuff. Don't get me wrong. Because of the price, you can't beat it. There we go. Because you can't beat it, you know. Plus, I don't have any foundation on. I don't have it on the top of my eye. And I'm facing that way, so I'm having a difficult time. Plus, it's not wanting to come out today. That makes, oh, why? I don't understand this. There it goes. There we go. It was not wanting to come out today. There we go. But I like this one because see how bright you can get with it? There we go. There we go. It wasn't coming out right for me. I kept wondering why. I kept trying and trying and trying. But there we go. There is the drugstore one on this side and the other on this side. Now, let me, I'm just going to grab some powder down here. 1 second. I'm not somebody that powders my under eyes because I have dry skin. It's not needed for one, but I'm just going to go ahead in and show you. I'm just grabbing the Fit Me powder. I think this is in fair, whatever the lightest color is. And I'm going to grab it on the edge like that. Just grab a tiny bit and pat it off, very little. And just kind of, I don't use this. I don't find myself needing it. And I find it, let me show you. I'm going to go ham on it though because I want to show you something. And this concealer on this side is very difficult to get it to do what I'm trying to. I'm trying to get that dried out under eye look. There we go. And I'm so careful. Now you see, go ahead and cake that up. I don't bake my under eyes. I don't find it necessary. A lot of what you see on from these girls on YouTube is strictly for film, like baking and whatnot. That's more for film ideas than anything. Now, there we go. Just went ahead and set that. Now I did set it a little heavy on purpose. This one's not so bad, but my under eyes get these crazy, crazy bags, like crazy, crepey looking from them, and just feels so dry and kind of yucky. Now, I gotta make sure that's well set for this next little step. Now, let me brush this off. I was trying to get it to look real crepey and real dry, and I'm not getting that. I guess it's because I used 2 really good concealers, but okay. Say you're doing your makeup. See, I don't like how that little crepiness right there shows. The rest of it looks pretty good. It does look, sorry, I'm getting so close, but I wanted to show you right in here. See how it's getting a little, it's a little dry looking. Now what'll happen with my under eyes, you see how that little, it's starting to kind of pull inward, and it'll do it this side, and that's my skin kind of drying up basically. Now I like to take a Q-tip. What I will do, you want a bare minimal amount of this. We're going to go back into the jojoba oil. You don't want a ton of it. Now, I don't want to pick up that powder either. You want barely any on that finger. A lot of times I'll use a Q-tip just because I want to get up in there, and I don't want to mess it up. I'm trying to show you and do it at the same time. It's not working that way. It's so hard to show you like this. Now, a lot of times I'll pick it up on my finger and tap it into a beauty blender. I don't want like a ton of it. You want to be careful, because what this is going to do is it's going to loosen that back up again, where it's nice and set right now, and this is going to almost kind of unset it again. But I think with dry skin, see, I put a little too much right there, but with dry skin, it just gives back that, see, it just gives back that, that life back to it. Here we go. Now see, this side, I have a harder time using this here, the Maybelline. I guess I should have put that up against a little different primer, concealer. I am loving this Fab concealer. I will tell you, you don't use a whole lot. Now, the other thing I will do is right around the edge, I will kind of puff that off. You don't want to remove, see, I'm not removing the product, I'm just patting back in some more. You can do it with your finger, you can do it with your hand. The reason why I did it with my hand is or with the beauty blenders, I had that oil over here and I tapped it off, got it right in there, and I just kind of picked up a little bit of that powder. So it's powder and the jojoba oil that was just left over. There we go. But that just really, and I'm loving how this looks. This is how my eyes look every day. That's how they've normally been looking. And ever since I picked up this new concealer, it's really changed my concealer game, I'll tell you. It is a super, super amazing concealer now. But, I mean, you can use this with any concealer. You can use the Kylie. You can use Shape Tape. You can use any of them. Now, being you have drier skin, I do not suggest products like Shape Tape are a little drier. The Kylie one is not so bad. This is the Kylie right here if you haven't tried it. I'll show you that. Let me just pull out a few concealers so you can kind of compare. So I can show you kind of color-wise and just like consistency-wise. I want to show you the difference. In 1 second, I'm going to grab a couple. I'm back. I'm grabbing a few different concealers just so we can kind of compare them. Sorry, my cushion's all messed up. Let me keep these in an order so I know what they are. First, we did the Kylie. Then we did the Fab. This is the Born This Way Multi Sculpting. I'm going to do that one right here. I'm probably going to have these down my arm here in a minute, but I want to show you kind of the consistency and how these are. This is Shape Tape. Honestly, there's not a whole lot of difference, except for you're going to get formulas that are drier and formulas that are a little bit wetter. This is the ColourPop No Filter. But this is also giving you guys a good idea. These are all their lightest shades, too, as well. I get the lightest shade in every one. This is the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. I have way too much concealer. This one is hard to get out of there. Now, see how much thicker that one is? This one is a crazy, crazy formula. I thought it would be a lot better than it is. It's okay. This is the Makeup Revolution concealer. You see the difference. These are all their lightest colors. They're very close. What do I have here? Here's the Maybelline, which we had out already. And this, the one that I get is the brightening. You see where it's more pink toned. Okay. And then this here is the Bye Bye Under Eye Illuminator concealer. That is crazy thick. This is full coverage, anti-age waterproof concealer. Okay, let me grab a makeup wipe here because I don't want to get these mixed together. And I'm just going to show you with my finger a little bit of the difference in the consistencies. First, we had the Kylie, and that's this here. Plus, you can see kind of the difference. It's a nice creamy formula. It's not too dry. The next one is the First Day Beauty, the Fab. You see how much that is way thinner. Now, this is the Too Faced Sculpting. That's the new one. That's it there. Then we've got Tarte Shape Tape right here. You can kind of see how they're, I mean, there's not really a whole lot of difference. This is ColourPop, no filter, and that's not, I don't think, yeah, that is the lightest color. Wow, it's a little darker. And you see how much thinner that one is. Next, we have the Tarte Creaseless. That's here. I'm just kind of doing the same thing with all of them, giving them a pat and a couple rubs. Something got mixed up here. Hold on. Okay, this one. That one. Oh, this is Makeup Revolution. That got mixed. This is the Makeup Revolution right here. There we go. Makeup Revolution is a pretty darn good concealer. This is the Bye Bye Under Eye Illuminator. I haven't tried this one yet. It is very thick. There we go. Give you guys an idea. If you ever wanted to see them all like together, you know, these are like the top, what do you, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 2, 4, 6, 8. These are the top 9 brands of concealer. All up against each other. And these are all the lightest color. This one here is way thin. That was the ColourPop. ColourPop. Yeah, that's the ColourPop. I don't remember. I've never seen the ColourPop up against the other ones like that. Wow, that's crazy. That color is kind of off. It's a very cool tone. But there you go. Those are the concealers up against each other. That's the Maybelline Age Rewind. That's in the brightening now. That's not the lightest shade. But to give you guys an idea, I mean, you're getting similar coverage with all of them, except for these two here, the ColourPop and the, what was next? And the Tarte. That's the Tarte Creaseless. You don't get as much coverage. I would say all of them are full coverage except for these two and this and the Maybelline. But they're all buildable. I do find that the ColourPop, you have to really build upon that, and it's just kind of really crazy to build on. Now, since we're sitting here and I have my eyes done, now if you have not done your makeup where you do your under eyes, first, let me grab, hang on, I'll be right back. If you've never done where you've done them first, this foundation is a little dark for me, but I really like it and I want to try to make it work. And I figured, well, I have that out. Let's go ahead and I'm going to try to add a little bit of these. It is the MAC Hyper Real Foundation. It's an additive for your foundation, and I got this in the color Gold FX. That's this here. If you have not seen this, it is a very light colored formula, and it adds a whole ton of luminosity. I want to see with this foundation, I'm just going to put, whoa, that is not what I wanted to put. That is way too much. Let me grab about half of that out of there. That is not how much I wanted to add, but I wanted to see if that would lighten this foundation a little bit. and also how it would work with a drugstore foundation, because this is a foundation that I've heard a lot of people complain that is too dark for them, and it is too dark for me. That is the Vitalist Healthy Elixir. I wish they'd make this, I wish that they would make this lighter. It's kind of crazy. I'm going to have to add a little more in there. There we go. All right. Let's see how we can get this going here. I am covered in, I'm covered in this stuff right now. Let me mix this in. Oh, it does lighten it. It lightened it quite a bit, actually. Did you guys hear they discontinued these? That is the gunmetal series. If you watch the Tayla, the G38, that is the best freaking under eye brush there is. I've been trying to get used to not using it because they discontinued it, and until I find something else, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But my camera decided to stop on me, but I caught it pretty quick. I'm gonna try to do this with the sponge today. This is that Sephora sponge you've been seeing me use lately. The reason why I'm doing it with the sponge today is because, for one, I have an oil on my face and I'm not using a primer, so you can tend to do it a little thinner this way. And I like how that, how dewier foundations like this, I like how they work better with a sponge. They just seem to really go on a lot more seamless. And this one really is. It's going on beautifully. And if you are somebody that likes that or wants to try the Healthy Elixir or has it and it's too dark, I will tell you this little trick worked. Add an illuminator to it. Now, if you see, I'm going up to where I did the concealer, but I'm not going back and forth to really, you know, take it off. You don't want to take that concealer off, but you don't want to build up on it. You don't need foundation on it. You just need to blend the line. My foundation, or my concealer, came to right about here, so I'm bringing the foundation up to about here. And I don't really have product up on that edge, but I'm using this little butt piece here. So, there we go. I really like the color of this when you add in that, that MAC. It really changes the color. It lightens it up a lot. It almost lightens it up too much, which is cool with me. I feel like I can bronze it up. There we go. Now, the one thing with this and most illuminators, you always have to set this down. It will not set itself. Now, I always keep a tiny bit extra of that illuminator over to the side, and I mix it with just a tiny bit of foundation, and I hit right here on the high points. See that? Where it just gives it a little extra little oomph. Right on certain high points. It's so freaking pretty. I really love this product, if you can't already tell that. All right. Let me get this cleaned up here. I hate leaving this out. I have broken so many pieces of glass this way, not putting them up right away. So there we go. I'm gonna put that up. Now, one of the things I'd like to do is, a lot of people blend down their neck with their sponge or whatever. I don't know why. I've just always liked to just lightly take my hand. I've already kind of blended down my, you know, down here a little, but there we go. But I like to just go ahead with my hand. It's something I've done probably all of my life. Now, I'm going to grab my, I'm trying to find a drugstore. I have, actually, you know what? Since we're trying to stick to kind of drugstore, I'm going to go ahead and grab my Fit Me powder. I'm going to finish my face, and I'll be back here shortly. And I am back. I need to do my hair. My hair's an absolute wreck, but I have been loving this. I know I've been trying to stick to like drugstore kind of things, but this has been, and it's not a bad price. I forget. It was like $20-something. It is the what is it? Marvelous Smiles from Dose of Color, but I love this because you can just You can just build on this. This is like so pretty. Kind of limited on what kind of eye looks. You know, you're kind of stuck in mauves, but you can wear it with other colors. And but I've really been liking it. And where's my setting spray? I finally got some of the Morphe setting spray. I love that stuff. Because it's a very fine light mist. And it's continuous, so you don't have to keep pump. And, oh, there it is up there. Let me grab it. This is like the best on a Sunday afternoon when you are sweating your ass off. It reminds me of, like, it almost reminds me of Irish Spring cologne or soap. I don't know why. It really does. It's just a fresh kind of smell. And I mean, you have to really, like, see, spray on there to get it. And it's very light. See? But, okay, one last thing before I go. You get all your makeup done. You know, you're getting ready to go. You get up and go to the bathroom after sitting here doing your makeup all this time. You look at your makeup and you go, oh my God, why does that look like that? You get like a little crusty spot here. Here, my nose is doing it right here. Well, God, it's not showing up on camera. I was hoping it would. There we go. See on my eye, it's kind of looking like crappy. Remember we had just a tiny bit of the oil in here. I'm going to squeeze this. And I'm just going to tap it out. You don't want to like scrunch your eye because you'll actually cause it to crease even more. Not crease, but do that crumbly thing. There you go. And a lot of times I will take this and take my little bit of oil here. It's so hard to pick some. I've not found the perfect container to put this in. But I mean, you can see I have just ever so light amount there. And actually that, look, that is even too much. So kind of tap it off, and I'm going to tap it into here. Actually, now, once you get in there, and then I'm going to, there we go. So what you want this to do, I'll show you on dry skin, is, see how it just made that little dot, but you can barely see anything. Now, when you go over your makeup with this, see how that, there you go, you can see it. Now this is if your makeup starts looking kind of cakey and dry. You don't want to do this too much because it's actually going to break your makeup apart. What jojoba oil does is it actually does break apart your makeup just ever so lightly and help it meld back into the skin. I'm not somebody that likes to carry around makeup with me. Oh, I didn't put any highlighter. I don't know if I have a highlighter over here. What is this? You know what? I haven't even tried this. This is Jouer. I got the Jouer Blush and Glow, I think it was called, set. And it's a dual blush with a highlighter. But I'm not one that likes to carry makeup with me, so I like to do everything before I leave. But anyway, you know, I do show a lot of higher end products on here and not a whole lot of drugstore products, but I do try to show you guys more on the lower end price-wise spectrum and give you guys more options as far as, you know, lower end. This is, oh, this is rose gold. It's very pretty. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Let me show you in here. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Their highlighters are like crazy. I actually, I like to be so careful with them. Plus, remember, I have a little bit of that oil there, so look at that. But now, if you don't want to like go crazy, this is a good highlighter for you, because see, you can get that pretty glow. Now, if you want to hide texture and you have a lot of texture up, see where I have my texture, you can go right here and almost use it as a blush topper. See? And you can still get that highlight look without emphasizing. Here, I can show you better on the side. See where I came down? It's so hard to, there we go. But I don't worry about texture. I don't care. If you don't like it, don't look. It's always been my theory on stuff is if you don't like it, don't freaking look. But I like to look like the glazed donut. Anyway, that is it. And one last little spritz. I always like to make sure to do a setting spray over my highlighter, just to kind of seal the deal. Now that is a good highlighter to kind of do this. You want to get a little right here. I don't do a whole lot of this. Kathy, Glamorous Beauty, does this like crazy. She is so crazy, but somebody was telling me you can really make yourself kind of thin out because where your collarbone is right here, you know how thinner people, you can really see their collarbone? If you take a highlighter and just kind of, look at that, right where, I get red so easy. Right where your collarbone would be, you can kind of highlight that. Kind of highlight there, and it highlights to make you look, helps you look a little thinner. Me personally, I'm happy with just being alive and healthy. So, thank you guys for watching. As always, have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm going to do my hair and go where I always go. I'll give you 3 guesses. The first 2 don't count. I'm going to the grocery store. Yeah, I have such an interesting life. Such a lovely, fun life. I'm always at the grocery store. But it is what it is. You know, that's just part of, it's part of being an old lady. Anyway, guys, have a great day. I will see you soon. Bye.